Joining us now, Andrew Cherkasky, a criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor from Manhattan, where this case is being tried. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
So how do they get a conviction with testimony like that? I mean, with that account, that body cam, which is taken right at the time, right? Put aside her testimony now. That was her account as it was happening.
Well, the case keeps getting worse and worse for the prosecution as the trial goes on, and it makes you wonder why it was ever brought in the first place. They have to believe, prosecutors have to believe that they can secure a conviction beyond a reasonable doubt before they bring a case. And so you have to ask yourself, exactly at what point do prosecutors think Daniel Penny should have essentially released that hold that he had, or should he have never involved himself in the first place?
I think their position is that after a while, right? At first it was okay, but then it reaches a point where he should have stopped.
When is that?
Right.
You've got a person who's acting in this chaotic and dangerous manner, and so it's okay to intervene, but then you have to somehow understand that this is the point in time that you're to let go. And remember, Daniel Penny's got people around him who are essentially encouraging him to continue to keep this person at bay, to keep Jordan Neely from reanimating and kind of coming back and then doing more damage. That is a danger.
Let me play a little bit more. This is number 8 from a little bit more of the body cam footage that we just saw.
The whole train was freaked out. He was either going to like pull a gun, a knife, or like...
He said, I'm willing to die. I'm willing to die.
Whole train is freaked out. And this jury is made up of subway riders.
Right.
And a good number of them who said that they have been scared or threatened on the subway.
So people understand that in a situation like that, deep underground, things can get dangerous quite quickly. We have to understand what Daniel Penny didn't do. He didn't pull out a weapon where there was no weapon previously there. That would typically be something that would reduce your ability to defend yourself if you escalate the nature of the violence, or if you act in a particularly aggressive manner, so that while he's down on the ground, he's yelling at him, now you're going to get what you got coming to you, something that would invoke some idea of vigilante justice. None of that is present here.
So I'm going to ask you in a moment if you think he's going to testify, but let me play a little bit of what Daniel Penny has said about what happened that day. This is number 7.
Some people say I was trying to choke him to death, which is also not true. I was trying to restrain him. You can see in the video there's a clear rise and fall of his chest, indicating that he's breathing. I was trying to keep him on the ground until the police came.
You know, before this trial started, I was confident he would take the stand. I was thinking, okay, you know, he's got an account, he's well-spoken, be sympathetic, but I'm starting to wonder, is he even going to need to take the stand?
Well, I've tried many self-defense cases, and the key in a self-defense case is that the jury has to have some reasonable doubt as to whether the individual acted in self-defense, and it requires both an objective, so a reasonable person test, as well as the person themselves that was defending themselves. And so you have to somehow put that evidence in front of the jury. The prosecution holds the key to those past statements. If they bring in his past statements because they think there's some good stuff in there for him, then the defense gets the rest of it, which would be good for him. He wouldn't have to testify. But if the prosecution ever puts in a statement, I think he has to get up on the witness stand, say what was going through his mind, and subject himself to cross-examination. I think he'd do fine with that.
Witness Lori Citro said she barricaded her son, and this is a witness who testified, said, I've taken the subway for more than 30 years. I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot of unstable people. This felt different to me. Again, the point you made before about, oh, somehow a jury of 12 subway riders is going to come back unanimously and say, beyond a reasonable doubt, this guy is guilty of manslaughter, just seems beyond comprehension to me at this point.
Well, and a statement like that would even justify potentially using particularly aggravated means to defend yourself. And that's not what we have here. It's that it went on for too long. And it, you know, bare hands, somebody who's being restrained, I just don't see it. I don't see why it was brought in the first place. I think this is going to be a very quick acquittal.
Andrew, thank you. Good to see you. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.